The Galactic Council chamber glowed beneath the cold light of 1,000 hovering drones, each recording the most controversial trial in the history of the stars. Ambassador Elias Grant, humanity's first diplomat to the Galactic Union, stood alone at the center platform, his wrists bound by silver energy cuffs. Around him, 20 alien races watched with unreadable expressions. His crime was treason against the galaxy, an accusation born from lies and political fear. The Zalorian Empire had claimed that humanity sabotaged their peace convoy, killing hundreds, and now the Council demanded justice. Elias had spoken the truth countless times, his voice calm but filled with conviction. Earth did not do this, he had said again and again, but no one listened. The Council had already made its decision before the trial began. Behind their polished words of law and order was something deeper, fear of humanity's potential. For years, humans had grown stronger, advancing faster than most species expected. And in a galaxy ruled by ancient powers, that kind of progress was dangerous. As the Council's speaker, a towering insectoid named Vrax Thune, declared the sentence, the chamber fell into silence. "Elias Grant of Earth," the speaker boomed, "you are found guilty of crimes against the galaxy. Your punishment, termination." The crowd murmured softly, some satisfied, others uneasy. Elias didn't flinch. He looked around the chamber, his gaze steady, his tone quiet but chilling. "You're making a mistake," he said. "You think you're protecting peace, but what you're really doing is waking something that never wanted to fight again." The guards dragged him to the execution platform. A blue light enveloped him, and within seconds, the man who once spoke for all of humanity was gone. No screams, no struggle, just silence. The galaxy watched through countless transmissions, many celebrating the end of what they called the human problem. But light years away, on Earth, the transmission ended differently. When the energy pulse consumed Elias, his neural link activated a signal buried deep within Earth's defense network. On a hidden console beneath the surface of Luna Base, red warning lights began to flash. A soft, calm voice echoed through empty halls. "Code Phoenix confirmed." At first, no one in the galaxy noticed anything unusual. Trade continued, Council fleets patrolled borders, and the Zalorian leaders prepared their speeches of victory. But a day later, the Varan patrol ship Astra 9 disappeared near the edge of human space. Then another, then 5 more. The Council brushed it off as navigation malfunctions until distress calls started flooding in, static-filled messages ending in screams. Star systems near the Terran borders went dark, their communication relays offline. Entire outposts vanished without a trace. The Galactic Council demanded answers, but their probes never returned. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said Earth had unleashed ancient weapons. Others whispered that humanity had made contact with something far older than the Union itself. On the third day, a single message arrived at the Council's headquarters. No encryption, no identification code, just human text that read, "This is not war, this is consequence." Every species that read it felt a chill in their core. The humans had always been underestimated. Small, fragile, emotional creatures, they had said. Yet behind that fragility was something unbreakable, something the other races never understood. Unity born from pain, strength born from survival. And now the galaxy was about to learn what that truly meant. From the observation tower of his ship, Commander Threx of the Zalorian fleet watched as the stars began to fade behind thick waves of energy distortion. "What is that?" his officer gasped. Before anyone could answer, dozens of unidentified vessels emerged from hyperspace, sleek, black, and silent. Human ships, but not like any the galaxy had seen before. Their hulls absorbed light instead of reflecting it. Their engines emitted no detectable energy. The Zalorian sensors couldn't even lock onto them. Then the first shot came, a beam of pure white light that tore through the flagship S shield as if it didn't exist. Threx barely had time to shout an order before everything went white. Across the galaxy, chaos unfolded. Fleets that approached human space were annihilated in seconds. Defense satellites turned against their masters, hijacked by unknown codes. On Earth, no broadcasts were made. No statements, no threats, just silence. The same silence Elias Grant had left behind. But to those who knew humanity's history, silence was never peace. It was preparation. As the Council gathered once again in panic, Ambassador Mia Chen, humanity's second delegate, entered the chamber. Her expression was unreadable. "You executed peace," she said softly. "Now you'll face what comes after." And though the aliens tried to reason, to explain, to beg for negotiation, it was already too late. The galaxy had taken humanity's voice. Now it would hear their answer. The Galactic Council chamber, once filled with pride and arrogance, now echoed with fear. Holograms of burning fleets surrounded the delegates as reports came from every sector, worlds falling silent, colonies gone dark, patrols erased. For the first time in recorded galactic history, the mighty council was afraid. At the center of the chaos, Ambassador Mia Chen stood tall, her calmness like a blade cutting through panic. "You thought Earth would stay silent forever," she said coldly. "But you never understood us. We don't start wars, we finish them." Around her, alien ambassadors shouted accusations, each blaming another for the crisis. But they all knew the truth. The moment they executed Elias Grant, they sealed their fate. On the outer edges of the galaxy, the Erebus Line, a fleet of human dreadnoughts, moved with terrifying precision. Their ships made no sound, their signals unreadable. They didn't communicate. They simply appeared, struck, and vanished into the void. Their command ship, the Resolute, was led by Admiral Sarah Grant, the daughter of the executed Diplomat. She sat in her command chair, her eyes fixed on a projection of the galaxy. "Initiate Operation Silence," she ordered, her voice emotionless. Across dozens of systems, human AIs activated at once, sending encrypted pulses that disabled communication networks, weapon platforms, and even entire defense grids. Planets that had mocked humanity's weakness now found themselves blind and defenseless. When the Zalorian capital sent its desperate plea for peace, the Resolute appeared in orbit within minutes. Their planetary cannons powered up, but before they could fire, they went offline. Human Marines, invisible to scanners, had already infiltrated the surface. The world that once celebrated Elias Grant's death now trembled under the shadow of his daughter's vengeance. But Sarah didn't come to destroy, she came to deliver a message. A broadcast went live across the galaxy, her face illuminated by the cold light of her ship's bridge. "The galaxy executed a man of peace," she began. "You called him dangerous because he spoke truth. You feared humanity because you could not control it. You wanted submission. Instead, you earned judgment." Behind her, the stars flickered as human ships emerged. Hundreds of them, each bearing Earth's insignia. "We do not seek conquest," Sarah continued. "But know this, Earth remembers, and we will never again kneel before those who mistake mercy for weakness." The feed cut out, leaving the galaxy in stunned silence. In the days that followed, the attacks stopped. Human ships withdrew beyond the Terran border, leaving behind wreckage and silence. The Council, broken and desperate, sent emissaries begging for peace, but no human voice answered. Then, weeks later, one final transmission arrived. It was from Mia Chen. "Peace will return," she said softly, "but only when you understand that humanity's silence is not surrender, it's restraint." On the surface of Earth, cities glowed beneath calm skies. Children played in the streets, unaware that their world had just reminded the galaxy of a forgotten truth. Humanity was never the strongest, nor the fastest, nor the oldest, but they were the one species that refused to die quietly. In the archives of the Galactic Union, the event was recorded under one name, the Wrath of Earth. And though centuries would pass, the message of that day would echo through every world that looked toward the blue planet in fear and respect. Never provoke the species that calls itself human. For when the stars themselves turn against them, humanity does not fall. They rise together as one unstoppable force.